After so many years, it's finally here. And I wanted to record my very first minutes with it and make a video out of it. So they see your beauty so frail and fine, they see your peace woven of faith and toil, they forget your heart bound in slumber and servitude. When you wake, they shall see your truth, a beast's nature bare to all. From far looms folly. So, I have been tremendously excited for this game, and I'm very happy that it's finally here. We have the intro cutscene going on, and here is Hornet, a character from the first game, and now our player character for Silksong. So, this is going to be my first, hour and a half with the game. I'm just playing it as, normal. I just, dropped in and started playing, so it's just going to be straight gameplay, me exploring, me, looking at abilities and stuff, so there will be a little bit of, just that live play element, I suppose. But I wanted to do some voiceover on it, and, release it for all of you to check out if you are curious about Silksong. Or if you are a Silksong fan, give you something to fall asleep to after a long day of playing the game. Bind. So that is how we heal ourselves. So, as we kind of get started here, this down dash move, I'm just trying out the controls here. This down dash move is one of the major things that I was struggling with in adjusting to this game. In the original Hollow Knight, your downward jump attack just did just a downward swing. Also, we're wearing a hunter's cloak, simple protective garb, and we have a tool pouch, basic pouch designed for holding tools, straps, and crafting materials. A needle, long sewing needle uniquely balanced for combat. The blade is marked by time and use. And we have silk, versatile thread naturally produced within the shell. When enough silk is stored, wounds can be healed and skills executed. Attack enemies to replenish silk. And the sewing needle, of course, is an interesting weapon. In the first game, you fought with nails. You had a nail that you fought with. But as I was saying, that downward dash attack, in the original game, it was just a swipe immediately below your character. And you could, bounce off of enemies. But here, the down dash is a diagonal shooting motion where you go, flying on the diagonal. And it has taken me quite a bit of getting used to. I'm sort of starting to get a handle on it by the end of this video, but my instinct is to just attack enemies when I'm right above them. But that doesn't really work with this new moveset, so yeah, adjusting to, like right there, I was just above it and ended up shooting off and missing entirely, so that's the one element of the moveset here that is giving me some trouble. Should I do a little bit of beard scratching while we're playing? We collected a mossberry. Mossberry, sweet fruit that grows in, sweet fruit that grows in moist environments. Its seeds are toxic to most creatures. As I was playing, I tried to give myself time to read descriptions and dialogue and stuff. But sometimes I might miss a word or two, depending on how fast I ended up going. Of course, you can pause the video and read stuff if you're curious. But yeah, the downward slash is the only major change so far to the basic moves that I've encountered. Everything else up until then, plays pretty similarly to the first Hollow Knight. And of course, I'm sure as I collect additional abilities, Hornet's moveset will start to differentiate itself more and more from the original game. One thing I will say about Silksong and Hollow Knight is I am actually not a fan of the Metroidvania genre, which is basically a genre where your character is exploring a large map, and you're collecting abilities and stuff as you go along. And there are, it's kind of one of the defining features of Metroidvanias is the fact that you will come across obstacles, roadblocks, challenges that require specific equipment or abilities to overcome. And you will need to return to those places later after you acquire those abilities to overcome those, blocks. Like, you need the double jump ability to get onto certain ledges or whatever. And I really do not enjoy that gameplay loop in Metroidvanias. It's just, personal preference, but I do not like having to sort of keep a mental map of random bits of exploration that I need to do, and make sure that I return to everything later on when I've acquired more abilities. So, the Metroidvania genre overall, I am not a fan of. But Hollow Knight was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. I did not enjoy it because of those Metroidvania elements. I enjoyed it in spite of those Metroidvania elements. It was such a good game that I was able to sort of overlook my issues with the genre. So here I'm coming back to try to get this moss mossberry, and I'm trying to line up this enemy just right so I can get that mossberry down. I love Hollow Knight, you know, I love I think, first off, Hollow Knight doesn't do quite as much of that backtracking as some other games. It does, you know, it does a fair amount, but, you know, there are also, like, other ways of accomplishing tasks if you were creative, oftentimes. And so, if you wanted to be, you know, really fancy and jump off of enemies to clear gaps or bounce across hazards or whatever, it might be easier later on when you have other abilities, but you can still do it if you're creative and skillful. But just the Hollow Knight gameplay is what brought me in. The boss fights, the feeling of how it played. I just really, really enjoyed the gameplay, and, you know, the character design and all that stuff was very charming. And so the exploration and the environments and interacting with the world and the characters I found quite enjoyable. And that, combined with the very tight combat system and the high level of challenge, which I, you know, as a fan of, like, the FromSoft games, I do really enjoy high challenge games, and Hollow Knight certainly provided that. Here we're fighting the Moss Mother, which is our first boss of the game. Pretty simple once you see its moves. Doesn't get very complicated. And very forgiving. I'm getting hit a lot here, but you know, it only does 1 damage per hit, so it's not that bad. So, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing watching this again, actually. Playing pretty poorly. But yeah, the high challenge of Hollow Knight was a lot of fun. And I actually 100%ed the game. Like, all of the achievements and everything. There's a ton of challenges in that game. You know, speedrunning the game, achieving 100% completion within a certain time. One of the hardest things I feel like I've ever done in gaming was beating the Pantheon DLC. The Godhead, or whatever it was called. God Home, I think. And basically, the end of that DLC culminates in a boss rush, which was extraordinarily difficult to complete. But anyway, we have an NPC here. Let's, up with you, up. I won't have you dying on my floor. Awake at last. You should mind your strength, traveler. There's no use wasting energy on an old nobody like me. And this is the chapel maid. I see that now, madam. My welcome to your land has not been kind. I had reason to be wary. So you're another pilgrim, then, scuttled out of the darkness to climb the great path and bow at its gilded peak. I am no pilgrim. I am Hornet, and I arrive in your land by no choice of my own. I was brought to your kingdom by force, captured by strange bugs clad in perhaps slaves to something greater. Then I shall seek their citadel. If these veiled bugs would go to such lengths to bring me here, I intend to find out why. Oh, ferocious, intimidating, yours is no pilgrim spirit. You've the bearing of a hunter. Welcome then, fierce traveler, to Farloom, our holy yet haunted land. Before you depart, permit an old bug a brief warning. Best keep that weapon drawn. Our kingdom is gripped by a curse. Its paths grow wild and dangerous, and though some still attempt the climb to the citadel at its crest, none return to speak of what they see. New objective, the Great Citadel. Ascend through the lands of Farloom to reach the citadel at the kingdom's peak. Alright. So, down this way we have a door, something walled off, can't go that way yet. But let's talk to the chapel maid a bit more. You bear your blade well, hunter, and you've skill, no doubt, so I don't mean any unkindness when I say you still seem a little frail. I was a long time spent captive, bound by seals strange to me. My strength is diminished, but recoverable. By the time I reach that citadel, I'll be ready to face what waits. If the veiled bugs have an interest in you, enough to brave the wastes beyond our borders, then you must be rather special, yes. In my own lands, some may once have seen me so. In this place, with my strength sapped, I am just another traveler. Oh, a traveler, but still something more. I can see it now, of course. That focus. Did those veiled bugs realize who they snared? Perhaps it is they who should be worried, eh? Few are as foreign as you, hunter dear. Visit me when you care. I look forward to hearing how your steps might shake our world. Oh, yes. Alright, and just like in a Dark Souls game, you must speak to NPCs until they repeat their dialogue. And that's how you know it's time to move on. So, here we have one of the veils of the bugs that captured us, and the little bells they were carrying. The path that we fell down. And here I was like, I'm pretty sure this is just going to drop me back down to where we were before, but I wanted to fall down and see if there was some kind of secret, but I was just double checking over here to make sure that it was the same area that I thought it was. So there's no secret if you're watching this before you play the game. You don't have to drop down that hole, okay? I've done that hard work of exploration for you. So, this area is the ruined chapel, where the chapel maid resides. And we will pass through. So, as the chapel maid said, we are bugs. All of the characters in this game, in the Hollow Knight series are like bug-type creatures. Spiders and, beetles and stuff. This area is called Bone Bottom. Bone Bottom. That's what people called me in high school because of my flat ass. Sorry, okay, a fellow pilgrim, are you about to start your great journey to the Holy Citadel up top? Says the little pilgrim. I am no pilgrim, sir, though it seems we will be traveling a similar path. Not a pilgrim. Well, it makes no difference, I suppose. We all must walk the roads up and up, though most of us will fall long before we see the grand gates. If you're wise, you'll stop here and rest a while before heading out into that dangerous world. Rest here with me as long as you like. I'm not ready to leave yet, and a little company is always nice. So, I think this is our hub area. As in, the first game, there was a little community that you kind of added more residents to as you played the game. And I believe Bone Bottom will serve that purpose in this one. Fearful pilgrim, oh, you've come to hide down here too then. 'Tis a fearful world out there. If you can keep quiet, I don't mind you joining me. You've chosen a curious place to rest, ma'am. This pit of bells and the structure around it, they suggest a station for travel, though one long abandoned. Aye, rumors in the camp say these bells run throughout the lands, great veins of them, forged by our ancient kin, and some even say bugs used to travel through them, in gilded carriages no less. Surely such fanciful travel would be a sin for us pilgrims. We must walk and climb and crawl using only our meager claws. Only thus can we prove our devotion. Anything else? Down here you can't hear the cries of the pilgrims above, only the faintly ringing bells. I'll stay and meditate a little longer before I start my own pilgrimage. So yeah, in this world, there's like praying mantis characters and all sorts of creatures, maggots and grubs and insects of all stripes, and obviously, as I said, even not insects like spiders and stuff. Peb. Oh, traveler, destined for the citadel, yes. Well, before you embark, won't you stop and make trade with an old pilgrim? I'd see your wares, madam, though I fear I may have nothing worthy to offer in return. Oh, worry not. If you lack fine goods to trade, we can barter still. In this devout land, we deal in the currency of faith. Rosaries, those finely carved beads of prayer. If you will only share some with me, I will trade you something fair. Alright, so we have a bunch of things to buy here. A magnetite brooch, a mask shard, a craft metal, probably something to use for our sewing needle, a simple key, and a rosary string, which I think helps you protect your money, because in this game when you die, you drop your money where you died and you have to go pick as the resident fixer, I've taken it upon myself. They're a popular thing about Farloom wish walls, useful too. So many prayers left unanswered, gives 'em a place to go. This is Flick the Fixer, by the way. Once this wish wall is up, bugs will be able to seek help from any able shell around. You could even try granting a couple of wishes yourself, Missy. Alright, and that's all that Flick has to say. So now we can get started on our adventuring proper. Leave Bone Bottom behind and start exploring this strange kingdom. So, there are two types of currency, it seems, in this game. Many of the enemies drop these, I think they're like shell shards, but other enemies drop rosaries. So, I think you can, rosaries can buy you some stuff, and shell shards can be used for other types of purchases. Yeah, you'll definitely see me getting used to the down dash as I play. And I think we're entering like some sort of hot area here. Lots of red. Looks like, a volcano or something. All these red ember lights coming upward. So in the first game, of course, you are exploring a cursed kingdom, basically a fallen kingdom. And so it seems we have found our way to another kingdom upon which ill times have fallen. This was a common feature in the first game as well. These little arena areas where you step into a room and the doors kind of close off. Oh, that was pretty bad. I got hit and then knocked into the wall where he was then charging, and so I got double hit. And both of his attacks did 2 damage, so it was a close one. So once you beat the arena battle, you can continue exploring. And I'll probably have the sound on for this. I'll turn it down low. But even though it's like combat and stuff, I think it'll be nice just to have the audio for it. A lot of my videos I cut out, more potentially disruptive sounds, but... Hoy, did you see it, Red Maiden? The great gate heard my song, and in its infinite and ancient kindness opened the way forward for us. What luck for us to meet at this moment. We can set off on the great road together. Or perhaps I'll tarry here just a little longer. I want to sing a song of gratitude to this noble gate. I'm Sherma, by the way, just another humble pilgrim like yourself. If you ever need assistance on the road ahead, sing out my name and I'll be sure to find you. Me and my lucky chime are at your service. Gate, 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 nicest gate I've met. Gate, 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 greatest miracle yet. Ha ha ha. But yeah, just because this is like basic, so a let's play than the other stuff I do, which is, you know, more structured around being relaxing and slow-paced. I think a little bit of game noise would be appropriate here. I love the animations in this game. They're all so clean, just like watching how Hornet moves, how she turns around when she changes direction. There's something, yeah, just very fluid about it, very smooth. So, music certainly seems to be a major theme in this area, in this kingdom. Pilgrim, you are blessed to walk the foundations of Farloom. Humble yourself before the shells of those who gave their lives to hold our kingdom's weight. There's, you know, all these bells around, and characters singing and stuff, so here we are in the Marrow. It's like a lava chasm area. And then, you know, obviously Silksong, so whatever the music theme in this game is was strong enough that they put it in the name. And then the other part of that name, the silk, of course being, so Hornet, I think, is, my memory of the first game is a little rusty, but I believe Hornet is the daughter of the king from the first game, and the, like, giant spider creature. So I think she is like, her dad was a beetle and her mom was a spider, and so she has the powers of silk. She can generate silk, which you see a lot in the first game, where she darts around on threads of silk. A Hollow Knight lore video would actually be pretty cool. Maybe I'll do one of those for this game, because it'll be more fresh in my mind as I'm playing it, when I beat it, or one for the first game, I don't know. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I think it would be kind of fun to do, but, you know, it's been a bit since I have played Hollow Knight, and so brushing up on the original lore, well, I don't know, I mean, I still remember most of it. There was, you know, this kingdom and this corruption, this disease, basically, and, the king had to, like, okay, wait, sorry, maybe, is it a problem to give spoilers for Hollow Knight while I'm playing its sequel? I would say, well, probably not. The game's been out for a long time, but at the same time, maybe, you know, maybe now that Silksong has come out, it's actually like a moment where a lot of people might be trying out Hollow Knight for the first time, so I guess I won't go too in-depth into the lore of the first Hollow Knight, but, you know, the kingdom was facing this infection, and you know, sort of fell because of that, and there are some strategies being employed to fight the infection, and you end up sort of interacting with those. A native of these fiery lowlands approaches. Have no fear, my friend. We fleas are but humble travelers. Well met, sir. Though like you, I am not of these lands. I am merely journeying through. back for wanderers to meet on an unfamiliar path. And now that we have met, know that I am Flea Master Mushka, leader of this caravan. Our own journey has barely begun, but you are most welcome to tarry here a while, stranger. Where ways are dark and winding, good bugs must stay close together. Stranger, will you hear my worry? The time has come for us fleas to find each other and to travel together, as has happened through generations before. The many fleas of this kingdom should be flocking to our caravan, but times have become dangerous. You feel it too, yes? Our poor cousins out there in hiding. Could you help us find these poor lost fleas? We daren't continue our journey until some of the poor dears have found their way here to us. So, promise, wish, wayfarer, the lost fleas. Though I understand you rightly, stranger, you will help gather the lonely fleas to our caravan. Truly, I am traveling these lands for my own reasons, Flea Master. However, if I happen upon any fleas on my travels, I will aid them as best I can. Oh, I could ask for nothing more. They must all be hiding or stuck in dangerous places, but if you rouse them, they are sure to find their way here to us. May the kingdom bless your travels and keep you safe, stranger. You are welcome to rest here with us whenever the roads bring you back. There are many lost and lonely fleas. You'll find the little deers in all sorts of strange places. Alright. Grishkin. Todeshna, I am saying welcome to our caravan, stranger. You are a very funny, very strange flea, isn't it? No fur at all, and your wings fall off. Har har har. It's just jest, of course. Us fleas famous for giving jokes. My fellows give much worry for the other fleas, but I'm not a give at all. They will find their way to us, and if not, who keep count of them anyway? So that's Grishkin. We have Varga. Dodeshna, stranger. You can rest with us here if you wish. It's nice and dark, and warmth from below brings good health. Still, you should make care not to stay much long. You are not a flea after all. The beasts here are much frightful, scary, but you give them space, they live alone. You respect beast. Beast respect you. I don't know if this is a reference at all, or if I'm looking too much into it, but the name of that middle flea, Grishkin, I think in the first game, there was this traveling circus caravan thing, and I believe there was a little character in that called Grimkin, if I remember remembering correctly. He's a little guy that you carry around with you, Grimkin. Sort of similar to Grishkin. Oops, I jumped onto the big guy. Yeah, just the really tight kind of melee combat in this in the first Hollow Knight, and the difficulty of it were just really kind of addictive to me. And I do love exploration in games. It's not that aspect of Metroidvanias that doesn't resonate with me. It's more the backtracking and the looping and the kind of like mental note-taking of places that you have to revisit because, when you first encountered them, you were unable to accomplish whatever was going on there. I like exploration, but I like when you can kind of, I don't know, the limitations are your own skill or intelligence, I guess, you know, strong way of putting it, but like, you know, in puzzle games or whatever, like in The Witness, I don't know if any of you have ever played The Witness, but that's a puzzle game that I really like. And nothing in that game directly restricts you, like mechanically. If you are able to solve the puzzles, then you can progress down a path. And sometimes I would leave because I would get so stuck and have to loop back later, but that was entirely, you know, because I was unable to solve the puzzles myself, and not because the game had an actual mechanical wall, you know, blocking me. It was, oh, here's a guy. Boshanga, edges sharp and senses keen. In my land, that is the way warriors greet each other, for though you are a child barely hatched, you are also a warrior. Your stance, your weapon, your movements all proclaim it so. You have keen sight for my skill, Bug, but my childhood is long since past. What has happened here? I see signs of battle all around. These strange, shuffling pilgrims, in the camp below they were docile enough, but up here they seem to have lost their senses. They cry out to the darkness and attack their fellow travelers. Yakanesh, keep your weapon drawn and your bearings true. The way ahead is winding, and to lose one's way invites only death. I am a navigator amongst my tribe, and have been making maps of these lands. I can trade them with you, and supplies if you wish. So, we can buy some navigation items here. Maps and a quill so we can add to the maps. A compass which will show us our location on the map. Bench pins to mark the benches that we find. And shell markers so we can make our own marks on the map. In these lands, names are freely given, are they not? I am Chakra wielding rings. If our hunts intertwine again, I will have new maps to trade. Until then, farewell, child wielding needle. I like that name. Who are you calling for, Chakra? Your voice echoes through the caverns. I came deeper into Farloom in search of my mentor, the greatest of my tribe. I could not keep pace, though, and her trail grew cold. She will have traveled much farther by now, but if I keep moving and stay vigilant, I will reunite with her. I love the name that Chakra gave us, a child-wielding needle. So, you know, the maps are very helpful in a Metroidvania game like this, especially if you don't have a very good mental map ability yourself. If you struggle to, you know, keep track of things that you've seen and stuff that you need to go back and do, can be very worth buying the maps and, you know, even buying some pins to mark down things that you need to revisit. I'm okay with the mental map making, sort of keeping track of things, but I do like to buy the maps anyways, just because, you know, as I said before, that kind of bookkeeping is not my favorite part of these games, so I like to have the tool. I like to, you know, basically have the game do it for me, or just have, in the game, but I don't have any money for the maps right now, so I'm going to have to take care of that. I also, one of the first purchases that I like to make, and which I almost never take off, certainly in the first game I didn't, is the magnet charm. It's an upgrade that makes it so that dropped currency, is automatically attracted to you, rather than you having to find it and pick it up independently. And again, I just sort of like to take away the busy work as much as possible, or what I consider, the less interesting aspects. And so the idea of after killing an enemy, I always have to run over and pick up the scattered currency is very unpleasant to me. And so in this playthrough, once I get enough money, I think the first thing that I buy is the magnetite charm back from the shop, so that I can just start drawing and stuff. However, it's a bit of a shame because that magnetite charm only attracts rosaries and does not attract shell shards. So, that made me sad. Because it, it makes it easier to get the rosaries, but there's still going to be a bunch of junk lying around for me to pick up. But I don't know, maybe if, do a little hop on that fly there to jump this gap. But yeah, maybe there will be another charm that will allow me to automatically pick up the shards, the shell shards. I think that's what they're called. I might be saying that wrong this whole time, but yeah. So similarly to the map, I just like to have all this junk taken care of for me. Activate this this elevator here. We come over here, we got all of these little flies. These guys are pretty similar to an enemy in the first game. I forget what they're called. But they had that little pincer mouth and would fly around. Also, that guy has a little pickup that I need to circle back around for at some point, but I never end up actually doing that in this playthrough, or in this this video. I will next time I play this game go do that before I forget. So here I buy the magnetite brooch and go and get that equipped. Magnetite brooch, holy stone inscribed with a prayer for rosaries. Any loose beads will be pulled toward the wearer. Shard pendant, crude trinket worn by collectors and crafters, allows one to collect more shell shards from defeated creatures. So here I was trying to figure out how to equip both at once, but it seems that in this game the charms are category locked, and so these are both of the same category, and so I cannot have them both equipped at once. Which is a shame because that shard pendant is actually pretty good, I think. Getting more money, especially, starting from early on, is a good thing. Maybe at some point you'll be able to equip multiple crests of the same category. So here I'm trying to together, but I'm still working on the down dash. Still working on making that intuitive. It's okay though, we just ride back up the elevator and try again, I came to Hollow Knight relatively recently. I only played it for the first time a few years ago, so people had already been, by that point, waiting on Hollow Knight Silksong for a very long time. And so I have not been, I've not been in the struggle in the way that many of the other, loyalists have been, desperately waiting for this game to come out. What do we have here? Okay, yeah, this part is, this part I tried for quite a while to kill this creature, just by doing this, and eventually came to the conclusion that it was invincible. I don't know, it felt weird that I could hit it and it would flash white. So it might be possible to kill it. I might just need to do a lot more damage. I'm sure at some point you can kill it, but I smacked it for a while and wasn't able to kill it, so I eventually just decided, okay, this thing is probably invincible to my current abilities. The other problem is that I'm kind of sucking, it's pretty hard to hit this thing, because you have a very brief window of opportunity to jump up, and then it has to be in the right position. But, yeah, so we can just sit here together and enjoy as I waste my time slicing this thing. But I do eventually give up. But yeah, the Silksong community, I know, is they have been very long-suffering. They've been waiting for this day for a very long time. So, my, congratulations to all of them for surviving this long, and, never giving up hope that this day would finally come. And, I've only been in the community, as it were, or a fan of the first game for a few years, but definitely the hype for Silksong was pretty real even for me, so I know there's some people out there who are incredibly happy right now that this day has finally come, so I'm very happy for all of the Hollow Knight fans who have finally made it here. But yeah, I think it's pretty close at this point that I just go, okay, you know what, we're done here. Oh dang, yeah, and I just got hit by one of those globs. Yeah, here we go, I just make a run for it at this point. A little Hollow Knight beard scratching. Something fun about this one is that Hornet talks. In the original Hollow Knight, the character was a silent protagonist. And in this one, so this door needs a key. Probably that key that we can buy from Pib back at Bone Bottom. But that thing was like 500 rosaries. Also, I'm pretty sure this water will kill us. I think it's like acid. And I didn't want to lose my stuff here and have to come all the way back, so I decided not to risk dropping in and checking it out. Especially with only 1 bar of health. I apologize. Oh, and yeah, we had a death there. there. So I have to go back and get my stuff. I apologize if you can hear this lawnmower that has started up outside. If it gets really close, I might have to pause this video, which I really don't want to do because I want to try to get this video out today because I'm recording this Friday. I should really be working right now for my actual job, but my normal release day for videos is Friday, and I didn't schedule a video to release today because with Silksong coming out on Thursday, I wanted to try to get some footage and then record a video in time for Friday. So yeah, so I really want to finish recording right now, but if that lawnmower gets closer than it is now, I'll just have to bite the bullet and maybe get the video out late or even get it out tomorrow, depending on how stuff goes. But yeah, this week has been insanity. My job is like crushing me underfoot right now. Things are going to turn around soon enough. I don't know if I've talked about this before, if I've complained about work, but basically what the situation has been for a while is I do contract work, and this company is like, they contact me and they're like, we have so much of this like type of work that needs to be done. We are so bottlenecked, we are freaking out, and we need help. And so I'm like, okay, let's do it. We lock in, we get it all done, and get the company afloat again. And then they're like, okay, thank you. And I'm like, okay, do you have anything? Can we get ahead of this now? Can we, do work in advance, so that we don't end up in this situation again? And then they're like, oh, no. I'm like, okay. So then, I stopped working for them for a few weeks. And then they contact me again. They're like, we're freaking out. We're bottlenecked. Everything is stacked up. We're log jammed. We're losing it. And so that is the pattern. And this is the worst that it's ever been. Like, between my various obligations, and stuff that I'm like working on, and the YouTube channel, and some other stuff I have going on in my life, every day is just like working on all my free time is going to this job now, because the logjam is huge, and all this stuff is overdue, and we have deadlines coming up. And so I talked to anyway, sorry, this is probably really boring and bad content to talk about during this Silksong video. I'll wrap it up quick, I promise. But so anyway, yeah, our the manager that like coordinates this work that I do, there was a good manager for a while and everything was fine, and then he quit to go, he just moved to a different part of the company. And so then this new manager came in, and that's when things just went downhill. She was horrible and like just non-communicative, and like let all of these log jams happen, and would say, oh, I'm gonna do all of this work, but then at the last moment would be like, actually, I'm not doing any of this work. You guys need to do this work now. To, various subordinates or whatever. And at that point, deadlines were like the next day or had basically already passed or whatever. So, anyway, all of this is to say, I think things are going to turn around now because I have taken over that managerial responsibility. I am now like in communication with the boss of those previous bosses directly, and I see her like overall game plan and when things are due, and I know now based on when things are due for her, when they're due for me, and the people that I work with. So anyway, it's in my hands now, and I can trust myself. Like, I'm a good worker, so fortunately, once we clear this logjam, which is like still there's an insane amount of work to be done, even though my team has been working on it all week. Once this is all dealt with, because I am now taking over that managerial responsibility, things will be fine going forward, and stuff will be done like well in advance, and there will be no more stress, and no more last minute, nuclear bombs of like, we have 100 hours of work that needs to be done yesterday, and blah blah blah. So anyway, sorry, that's my work woes to dump all that onto you. Thank you for listening to me rant about that. Alright, so here we have that symbol, that little sign was on the like bell station thing from back at Bell Bottom, or Bone Bottom rather. And I'm just trying to slash through all of that silk. So you can kind of put together that this is like a transit station, that those 3 chevron symbols are signs for the transit stations, and we need to unlock that one with that creature tied up there. And got these little guys that jump backward and spit moss balls. These little pilgrims here. Gotta find a way up, so have to circle back around and jump across these platforms up above. Can't quite make that jump. I like Hornet's design, character design. It's just like the really big, like shell headpiece, and then the very narrow neck that kind of flares out into this dress. But then like the little thin feet underneath. I really like the silhouette of the character, I guess. In the inventory, it has Hornet's garb listed, which I wonder if that means you'll be able to find alternate outfits as you progress, and if you can equip those, or if it's just if that is just put there as basically flavor or whatever. But yeah, the sewing needle is fun, as carrying on the tradition in the first game where you have strange, like unusual objects being used as weapons, like a nail, a little bug using a nail as a sword. Coral commandment, order issued by the Citadel. The once gleaming seal has worn with time, a relic of Farloom's past, interesting to collectors of historical items. was I saying? Yeah, and, a little bug using a nail as a sword is a very fun idea. But then, of course, with Hornet, who is a, spider-type creature that has the power of silk and thread, right? Using a sewing needle as a weapon is appropriate and a fun little thing. Weaver of Farloom, by grace you warded, by thread you healed. For your favor eternal we offer our song. So, Silksong, right? The Weaver of Silk, and then in gratitude for the Weaver, they offer their song, so we get the two parts of Silksong, right? And more silk there. Get these little crawling pilgrims jumping at you. Little freakazoids. And I haven't quite put it together at this point. Or rather, I'm just putting it together now. Those little cords are traps. If you slice a cord with your sewing needle, it throws up a bunch of spikes on the ground. So you have to be wary of those little threads. Inspect. Daughter of a distant land, we who remained have waited long. Bind our strength to yours. Reclaim the future of our haunted kingdom. Bind. So that sign on the wall, or the image on the wall, bound the silk spear. Bound the silk skill, silk spear. That little art on the wall of the little circle with the eyes on it, that is the Weaver, or like the spider creature. Or it's not there anymore. But that is the character that I believe is Hornet's mom from the first game. So we have a little ranged attack now with Silk Spear, Frayed Rosary String, and the Silk Spear also cuts through those silk thread walls that are otherwise impassable. So we now can go back to that Bell transit station where that big creature was all tied up in the silk. Go through this path. Have a nice bench here. And at the end of this tunnel we have Moss Druid. Who is it? An intruder, terrible, to interrupt a humble druid as they work. I meant no intrusion, Druid. The sound of your laughter drew me to investigate. This settlement is built around an old structure of the Weavers. Do you know of them? Do they inhabit this land still? What settlement? What Weavers? You speak nonsense. You're here, in here, so why did you send you? Did you hear my wish? Granter of wishes, you. Granter of wishes. Wishes, yes, my wish. I need fruits of the world. 3 little darlings, I need them, so I wish. Does the kingdom not send you, little you, to grant my desire? Berry picking. Wish promised. Promised then, a binding stronger than sin. Bring me the 3 moss berries, precious fruit. Grant my wish, and then the work begins. So we already have 2 moss berries, so we just need to find 1 more. And there's that little bug that we saw flying around earlier. But not actually going to end up needing to go that far back, because there's one right here. Just gotta kill this guy, and boom, there is our third mossberry. Seems to be all in this hidden room. So we will move on and go turn in our quest to the Moss Druid. As promised, Druid, I have your berries. What is your need for such common fruits? Common? No, special, cherished. Only a Druid knows it. The berries bright, for my wish so dear. This is them, the precious promised fruits. Drop them in, there they go, and now at last we can begin. Some crazy stirring of the pot. Oh, the smell is right, like the others, but very young. Oh, voice of the woods, oh, dance of the queen. Oh, beat harder, let us hear it. Oh. The pain, my mind aches. Why, the berries, the nasty fruits, oh, the visions. You, wish promiser, wish granter, you brought me what I needed and stayed by my side, companion through my ordeal. I could ask for nothing more. Berry picking, wish granted. And for the parting, a gift, an amulet of we druids, or me druid, no others, I think. May it ease your sorrows, wish granter, may it cry for you when no tears are left. And we got the druid's eye. The mossberries, do you still hunt them, little you? My wish was granted, but clear now that more are needed, more. Bring more mossberries here, yes, we will trade precious rosaries for fresh berries. Druid's eye, amulet of protection formed from mossberries. As the bearer takes damage, the amulet weeps a green elixir that will form into silk. So it gives us some silk when we get hit. Not a crazy powerful ability, but better than not having it. And it goes into a different slot on our crest grid or whatever, so no reason not to equip it. And now I think I'm trying to find my way back to the bell station. Now that we can destroy silk, and here we are. Now that we can destroy silk, I wanted to go break this creature's bindings. Bell beast. So we are in a boss fight now. This thing can come up and charge across. You can also jump overhead like that. So we're learning its moveset here. Got a little too close that time. Got a little too close that time as well. Yeah, I thought you might be able to hit those bells and like knock them away or something, but does not seem to be the case. This reminds me a little bit of the dung beetle knight from the first game. He would often he would dig underground and he would jump back up from out onto the ground and throw up like balls of dung. And just a little reminiscent of this fight here. Keep areas. I like how it's just like they're hanging from the ceiling and embedded in the walls, and the ground is covered in them, and every motion and impact just like throws up this explosion of bells. It's pretty cool. Here I'm getting a little more comfortable with that move, so I'm realizing that I can pop in right when he throws up the bells, get a hit in, and then dodge the bells. Oh, and that was a bad move. That was a fatal mistake. Running away from the jump rather than into the jump. Alright, let's go take another crack at that bell beast. I think we have it this time. That was a warm-up, you know. Yeah, the Pantheon in the first Hollow Knight was insanely difficult. Just this boss rush of every boss you fought in the whole game. Some of them were upgraded, and honestly, it was like a lot of the difficulty, of course, was fighting the bosses and doing well enough to fight them all in a row without dying. But one of the most difficult parts in a slightly zoomed out sense was it was at a certain point you got really good at a lot of the bosses, and you could zoom through the first 3/4 or whatever of the bosses, and there were just a few at the end that were the real challenges. And the difficult thing eventually was just committing 45 minutes to a single run of the Pantheon, and then knowing that it all was going to come down to that one dude that summoned the swords. You know who I'm talking about. I can't remember his name, but he's one of those the ghost warriors that you meet in the area in the open world that you can duel, and he summons swords that shoot out at you, and you have to get close enough to hit him while also avoiding the swords that he's summoning, and they take away the floor, and it's just brutal. But anyway, it's you gotta fight for 45 minutes through bosses that you're not going to lose to, because you know them all so well, and they're all relatively easy, I guess, compared to the end stuff. Just to get to that guy and actually see if you can beat him. So anyway, it was a really, really difficult thing to do, but very, very satisfying when I did eventually beat it. There's a small handful of moments in video games, challenges that have made me drop my controller on the ground when I win and just scream in victory. And definitely completing the final Pantheon in the first Hollow Knight was one of those moments. So we got some kind of reward here. Let's see. Let's see what this has to say. Unconscious on the ground. This spider web area, we feel it. We feel it. Child spider. Our silk. a silk heart. Regained the power to regenerate silk within one's shell. So I think that means that when we have no silk, we will regenerate 1 bar of silk. I think that's how that works. And we have the bell beast back now, but seemingly friendly, docile, and will actually carry us through the bell tunnels, serving as our fast travel system in this game. We have a giant bell here about to go bong. 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 Which also spawns a bench. We'll see what's out this way. Okay, so this takes us back to the marrow. And I remember this earlier. I think we came from the underside there. We couldn't go over the top. But that will be our exploration of Silksong today. That is as much of the kingdom as we will check out today. And we will now make our way back to Bone Bottom so that we can chill out and sit on a bench and get some rest. Nice friendly bell beast. The bellways, we can travel on the bellways. Of course, in the first game you traveled by stag. By stag beetle. Speak. Beast. Horrible beast. Says the fearful pilgrim. Sorry, I hate to say it, but I apologize if you can hear my belly. It's my sign to go eat some food. Alright, I don't think we'll buy anything from Peb right now. Hang on to our rosaries. Once we find a craftsman, we can buy that metal. Oh, back again. The wish wall is up, ready for all the poor souls who've been left behind down here. In Farloom, wishes are granted to those truly devout, or so they say, and there ain't no harm in us Drakes having wishes too. Why, I even went and added a little wish of my own to the wish wall. Fair's fair, I did build the thing. Seems like the kingdom should be granting my wish before anyone else's. So, Bone Bottom repairs, Flick of Bone Bottom. A lot of repairs to be done around here, but I need more materials. All I wish for is some shell shards so I can get to work. Not asking too much, am I? 200 shell shards for Flick. I think we can do that. Garb of the Pilgrims, residents of Bone Bottom. Those mad, violent pilgrims who haunt the Great Path. We could make use of their shawls here in Bone Bottom, and filling them would surely be a mercy. Alright, so go kill some of the crazy pilgrims. But let's use up pretty much all of our shards here to help out Flick. Bone Bottom repairs. Also, we want to get our hub city upgraded, right? Well, look at that. You've gone and donated all those shell shards just like I wished for. I can scarcely believe it. Those shards are valuable, alright. Brilliant for crafting and fixing. Very versatile. More than that, though, it was a warm thing you did. The sort of kindness you don't see much in this weary place. What's this kindness? I must take care to learn of this land and claim what advantage I can from it. Answering requests like yours can often fit those ends. Damn, Hornet, why you gotta be like that, is it? Well, even still, the help is well appreciated, miss. Best of luck in your travels, and may every wish of yours be granted. Common stuff, shell shards, but very practical. I can use them to patch almost anything. Okay. Old me was skipping through that dialogue. I said you're not gonna get to read that out. Alright, well, we have another quest to go collect some garb from the pilgrims. It's kind of grim, isn't it? Going up and killing people and taking their clothes to bring back down here. But hey, if they, if they want the clothes so much, I will help them out. It's faith, you see, all those pilgrims now and past. Our devotion holds it together. The camp will remain and provide, no matter the troubles. Must be terrifying out there, beyond the settlement. Nothing but monsters and madness lurking in the darkness. I've heard tales of a safe place, though, just up above here, where the moss paints the stones green. There's an old village, bit of a holy place apparently, well protected. I visited the settlement you speak of. It was built around a burial spire, corpse home to an ancient weaver. It is hardly safe, though. The terrain is treacherous, and predators prowl its commons. I advise you avoid that place. Oh, I see, of course. Nowhere is really free of danger, is it? That's just the way for us pilgrims. Alright. Well, I suppose that's the end of our excursion into Silksong. Thank you for joining me as I check out this game for the first time, this game that I am very excited for. I found this first 90 minutes very enjoyable, and I will, be very happy to continue my playtime and see what other adventures and surprises this game has in store. So, if you are out there playing Silksong as well, I wish you good luck as you traverse the kingdom. And until next time, my friends, thank you for joining me and Hornet